On August 19, 1996, government inspectors working in Brooklyn, New York, make a startling discovery. A gruesome crime is in progress. The victim is riddled with holes, near death and ready to collapse. Within days, inspectors find many more victims. The attacks are spreading. By the end of the year, the death toll exceeds 1,000. Sound horrible? It sure does if you love trees. The perpetrator behind this deforestation is a fearsome invader from the Far East, which eats living trees, the Asian Longhorned Beetle.
Asian longhorned beetle primarily years ago existed in the river valleys in willows and poplar trees in China. It had become a pest by about 1980 or so. And now, of course, degraded wood is used to make crates because it's cheap, and it's used to make pallets again because it's cheap, and those pallets and crates come to the U.S., and we believe that's how it got here.
This beetle has the potential to damage trees in 8 genera and tens of species and eliminate those as viable trees from our North American forest. So in terms of scope and ecological damage, this beetle is probably a greater threat than any threat we've seen in the past.
The beetle outbreak in Brooklyn, Queens, and Amityville, New York is greeted with a massive search and destroy operation. The infestation is isolated inside a 30-square-mile quarantine area. On July 9, 1998, a second outbreak of the Asian longhorned beetle stuns the city of Chicago.
The way this hit was just unbelievable. We learned about it on a Monday.
You can see where the city has trimmed some of the branches off.
And by Thursday, we had worked out the plan and with cooperative management.
One has broken off because of the damage.
Get everybody involved immediately. We got the State of Illinois Secretary of Agriculture, we got the Mayor of Chicago.
You talk about a tree person right here. I'm a tree hugger. I see him cutting down a tree. I'm a little upset.
Here is the actual quarantine established by the State of Illinois. The news media was our #1 helper. They got it on the evening news, they got it on the national news.
They had a pest alert on there.
Every infestation so far that I know of has been brought to our attention by the public.
Asian Longhorned Beetle office.
Working at Beetle Command, the task force quickly takes control of the quarantine area. 15 square miles in 3 separate locations in Chicago. No trees may be trimmed and no wood moved. Next, a detailed survey is made of all 36,000 trees inside the quarantine area.
Survey. Basically, we've had a team of people, anywhere from 6 to 20 people a day.
The surveyors are looking for the telltale signs of infestation: egg sites and exit holes. Egg sites are how the beetle larva gets into the tree, where it grows and tunnels for 12 to 18 months. The exit holes are the convincing proof that the tree will die.
And this is the most devastating pest I've worked with yet, because we don't have a way to control it. We don't have a spray, we don't have a bait, we don't have a lure.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Some people can't understand or don't really believe that there's really no pesticide or no means in this modern society to eradicate this pest.
I just hope that they've looked into everything and figured out every possibility so they don't have to just cut them all down.
If there are effective control techniques for this insect, certainly the Chinese haven't found them yet.
Scientists working for the U.S. Department of Agriculture are scrambling to find ways to kill the beetles inside trees or trap them once they get out. But the most promising research could protect uninfested trees.
We're looking at ground applications so that the roots uptake the chemicals and put them in the vascular system of the tree.
There's really no control method at this time, and I don't see one in the near future. So we're down to just removing tree by tree. We're going to save the rest of the forest.
No one is taking any chances with the Asian longhorned beetle. The risks are simply too great.
The risk to the United States, if this infestation takes place, is really tremendous. There is environmental impact, there is tourism impact, there is forestry service impact, maple syrup industry impact. We estimate anywhere from $40 to $148 billion impact.
Eradicating the Asian longhorned beetle in Chicago and New York is being accomplished by eliminating every terminally ill host.
This pest goes right to the heartwood of the tree. The result is that eventually the tree will die. What we have to do is cut the tree down, chip the tree up, and burn it in order to destroy the beetle.
Here in New York, I think we have turned a bit of a corner. We may have to get a little bit more aggressive in our removal efforts, but I think we stand a very good chance of eradication here.
I happened to find infested trees in my yard, and that's what started it. One time I went home for lunch, and there was an infested tree in my driveway, so I've lost 6 trees now. I have 1 tree left.
It's terrible. It's devastating. We're just, really upset.
As a forester, my heart goes out to these people to see the trees being removed and seeing it taken out of their neighborhood.
It's a beautiful shaded street neighborhood, and losing the shade, I think, would be horrible.
I already missed my trees, both trees very bad. They're all I had.
We have homeowners who broken down and cried. What we do is try to explain to them the importance of our eradication effort and the fact that we want to eliminate this pest from the United States.
The Forest Service role has really been focused on trying to help the communities that have lost trees as a result of this pest.
There's a massive program to reforest, and it's funded by the U.S. Forest Service in conjunction with the City of Chicago.
We'll do a 1-to-1 replacement. For every tree that was removed, there'll be a tree that'll be put back. Our biggest concern is to choose species that are not a host to the Asian longhorned beetle, so we won't be replanting any maples, any green ash. And we're also looking at diversifying what's going back in so that we don't have all one species that could be hit from another pest.
In addition to eradicating the beetles already here in the United States, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, along with its partners, is taking swift and aggressive action to protect our borders from any new arrivals. The Asian longhorned beetle is a wood-boring, seafaring traveler. It has wings, but prefers to stay grounded.
It can fly up to 2/3 of a mile if it needs to, but in actuality it doesn't very often. Its biology is such that this beetle is very content to reinfest trees that it emerges from.
However, when the beetle emerges from solid wood packing material, which is dead wood, it will try to find living hardwood trees, preferably maples.
And what we've done in those cases is to more or less throw a small quarantine on the warehouse. Nothing is shipped out until we decide which shipments can go and which are infested and need to be taken care of. We also conducted survey in the immediate area to be sure that the beetle had not escaped from the warehouses, and all those surveys have been negative to this point.
We have about $72 billion worth of trade that comes in from China at the current time. So it's important that we work closely with China to ensure that we don't disrupt trade.
But because of these outbreaks in Chicago and New York, we were forced to take these emergency measures.
This administration is taking emergency action to ban entry into the United States of all untreated solid wood packing material from China.
The interim rule requires that all shipments leaving China after December 17, 1998, must carry a certificate from the government of China stating that the solid wood packing material has been treated.
Solid wood packing material can be heat treated, fumigated, or treated with preservatives to rid the wood of any pests that may be associated with it. There are also many alternatives to solid wood packing material like slip sheets, plastic pallets, pressboard pallets.
I think it's important that importers here in the United States understand that they are at risk. It is imperative that when they write an order with China that they specify that there be no solid wood packing material, or if there is to be solid wood packing material, that is appropriately treated.
We are actively beefing up our inspections in ports of entry to look for these pests to prevent further movement of the pest inland, but we are doing blitz inspections in warehouses outside of port environs that receive wood packing material from China to ensure that any material that we may have missed at the ports is pest-free.
All of the experts in this documentary are confident that the Asian longhorned beetle's days are numbered here in the United States. How long it will take depends on the support of industry and the public.
But certainly with this beetle, which is easily recognizable, we need all the help we can get. The public is going to be as helpful as all the entomologists there are in the United States.
We've got 3 million people here in the city of Chicago alone. If we could get a large portion of them aware with it, what it looks like, they could be looking at their trees and at least report in. And people have been calling in droves, reporting potential sightings.
We hope they will be in the future, that when these things are spotted, we find out early enough, we can contain these populations and do something about them before they get on.
I've got all the confidence in the world that we're going to stop it, but it's going to take more than 1 year.
The other helpful point that the public can do is respect the quarantines and abide by them. We've taken down a great number of trees that were grossly infested over the last few years, and now we're not finding that degree of infestation. I think we'll ultimately win.
For more information about the Asian longhorned beetle, please visit the website at www.aphis.usda.gov under the topic Hot Issues. Click on Asian longhorned beetle. To report a possible sighting of this pest, please call your local APHIS office.